Welcome to our show. Well formed by the people. You are the guest, you are the host, and yes, you are the sponsor. Do not go. We're back and better than ever. We are back to continue on our quest to really think and grow rich, as it was planned, as it is our goal to continue to read. We took a little break, but we will continue to go through the entire book of Think and Grow Rich. Do you believe you can think and grow rich? Because I do. And without further ado, let us continue doing the work we need to do to fill our minds, our conscious and subconscious, with all the necessary knowledge to think and grow rich. Let us jump right into it. Think and grow rich. Make it a little bigger. Okay. Here we are. Let's continue our reading. The imaginative faculty functions in two forms. One is known as synthetic imagination, and the other as creative imagination. Synthetic imagination. Through this faculty, one may arrange all concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. This faculty creates nothing. It merely works with the material of experience, education, and observation with which it is fed. It is the faculty used most by the inventor, with the exception of he who draws upon the creative imagination when he cannot solve his problem through synthetic imagination. Creative imagination. Through the faculty of creative imagination, the finite mind of man has direct communication with infinite intelligence. It is the faculty through which hunches and inspirations are received. It is by this faculty that all basic or new ideas are handed over to men. Through creative imagination, all new ideas that did not exist come over to us. So we get to see these ideas that never existed before through the use of our creative imagination. So there is a great chance that you as a human being and I have the capacity to create an idea that has never before been created. And this, according to Think and Grow Rich, is achieved by the use of creative imagination. So we must always be aware of this capacity, of this ability, of this power that is within each and every one of us, and that is the power to create something that no other human being in the history of humanity has ever been able to create. So you are using your brain to bring to life something that has never seen light because it never existed until you, using creative imagination, thought of it. Let us continue our reading. Let us continue going on, and as we go on, we are getting closer and closer to thinking we're rich. Every single word, every single letter, every single explanation, every single sentence contributes to the development of our intelligence. Think about it. As a child, that's how we go through learning and knowing things little by little, bit by bit, until 20 years after, all these littles and bits get together to make us a 20-year-old. So let us see. It is through this faculty that the vibrations from the minds of others are received. It is through this faculty that one individual may tune in or communicate with the subconscious minds of other men. The creative imagination works automatically. The creative imagination works automatically. The creative imagination works automatically. So you don't have to make any effort to get it to work, but it does work naturally on its own. It is designed to work. It is the faculty through which hunches and inspirations are received. It is by this faculty that all basic or new ideas are handed over to men. It is through this faculty that the vibrations we read that the imagination works automatically. There we go. Automatically. In the manner described in the subsequent pages, this faculty functions only when the conscious mind is vibrating. When the conscious mind is vibrated at an exceedingly rapid rate, as for example when the conscious mind is stimulated through the emotion of a strong desire. So basically, for the creative imagination, for the automatic work of creative imagination, we must allow our conscious mind to reach a state in which it has been stimulated so much that it activates the automatic function of creative imagination. So in a sense, if we have an empty conscious mind that's barely stimulated, that has barely any ideas, plans, or thoughts, which is what we're doing here. We're stimulating the conscious. If you don't have that stimulation, then according to Think and Grow Rich, then the creative imagination in its natural form would not be able to do its automatic work, because it hasn't been given any concept, any thought, any belief, feeling, desire to act on its automatic ways of making magic. Stimulate the conscious so that the creative imagination can make its magic. Follow us on social media, all formed by the people. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe or listen to us on Spotify, and help us grow. Help us grow and help others think and grow rich. Let's see if we all get to think and grow rich. Let us get back to work. The creative faculty becomes more alert, more receptive to vibrations from the sources mentioned in proportion to its development through use. Use the creative imagination. The more you use it, better it becomes, the more it helps. Statement is significant. Ponder over it before passing on. Keep in mind as you follow these principles that the entire story of how one may convert desire into money cannot be told in one statement. Cannot tell you in 2 sentences in a tic-tac 3-second video how you turn desire into money. The same manner in which I cannot teach you or you cannot teach me physics in one day, or how to build a plane, how to fly to the moon in one day. That same manner, since this is a task that's slightly complex, we must be willing to dedicate a little bit of time and energy to learning the fine art, turning desire into money. The story will be complete only when one has mastered, assimilated, and begun to make use of all the principles. The great leaders of business, industry, finance, and great artists, musicians, poets, and writers became great because they developed the faculty of creative imagination. So all the greats developed this faculty of creative imagination, and that's why they became great, because of this faculty. Both the synthetic and creative faculties of imagination become more alert with use. The more you use it, the better it becomes, like almost everything else in the human body. Just as any muscle or organ of the body develops through use, desire is only a thought, an impulse. It is nebulous and ephemeral. It is abstract and of no value until it has been transformed into its physical counterpart. Desire is abstract until you see it in its physical form and shape in front of your eyes. And that's what we wanna get. We wanna get from the abstract to reality in front of us. Although you could say abstract is reality in and of itself, but to make the abstract very physical, very tangible, could be what we are trying to do here. You could name it that, rather. You could name it that. Well, the synthetic imagination is the one which will be used most frequently in the process of transforming the impulse of desire into money. So synthetic imagination is what we use most frequently. As they said before, synthetic is what puts together, combines, mixes and matches all the thoughts, ideas, memories you have to create or to make something happen. But the other imagination, creative imagination, is the one that brings up new ideas, new thoughts that you never thought of or no one has ever thought of. So you could say that synthetic imagination leads you or makes you think of a creative way to achieve that desire. And that's the one we will use the most, the synthetic, because it will use all our conscious thoughts to reach that desire. But the creative imagination is automatic, as the book said, because we cannot just turn it on whenever we wish. Unlike the synthetic imagination, the creative, it just comes out of nowhere and gives us an idea that we never thought of before. It comes and gives us that aha moment, that light bulb, that idea that we could never have before, and that we had never thought of before, and that nobody else had ever thought of before. Once that idea comes, that's creative imagination, because we almost don't have the conscious control to make that happen. As in, when a creative artist or a person sits down, they cannot just at the moment turn on or push a button for the most creative, most beautiful art to come out for him or her, to create something that has never been created before. He or her cannot push a button and make it be. So there's creative imagination, which comes at any time, any moment. You don't expect it. It just comes to you and hits you like bomb. And there you have it. And I agree with the book, because we all have had experiences with that type of creativity, which comes to us out of nowhere, without us planning, without us expecting it, without us knowing how we thought of that. That's the automatic creative imagination, which the book explains or believes that could be activated only by stimulation of the conscious with thoughts, ideas, feelings, beliefs, and desire. A lot of desire. Stimulate the creative imagination with desire thoughts. Stimulate your conscious and stimulate the automatic process of creative imagination. Stimulate creative imagination. Okay, let us see. Keep in mind the fact that you may face circumstances and situations which demand use of the creative imagination as well. Your imaginative faculty may have become weak through inaction. Your imaginative faculty may have become weak through inaction. But like a muscle, you can make it strong again. May have become weak through inaction. It can be revived and made alert through use it. This faculty does not die, though it may become quiescent through lack of use. Center your attention for the time being on the development of the synthetic imagination, because this is the faculty which you will use more often in the process of converting desire into money. Synthetic imagination you will use more often in converting desire into money. Synthetic imagination. Transformation of the intangible impulse of desire into the tangible reality of money calls for the use of a plan or plans These plans must be formed with the aid of the imagination, and mainly with the synthetic faculty. Read the entire book through, then come back to this chapter and begin at once to put your imagination to work on the building of a plan. You need a plan. Synthetic imagination is the one you use to create and come up with that plan that will allow you to achieve that which you desire, to make it a reality. Synthetic imagination. 7. Begin to once put your imagination to work on the building of a plan or plans for a transformation of your desire into money. Detailed instructions for the building of plans have been given in almost every chapter. Carry out the instructions best suited to your needs. Reduce your plan to writing. If you have not already done so, write it down. Write it in your mind, write it in paper, write it everywhere, so that you engrave it upon your brain and you remind your brain every day that this is what you want, this is what you intend to achieve. Once you have that, your brain will try to find a way. Creative imagination will maybe come up and tell you how you can get there. The moment you complete this, you will have definitely given concrete form to the intangible desire. Read the preceding sentence once more. The moment you complete this, you will have definitely given concrete form to that intangible desire. So, in writing, you, in a sense, make your desire tangible. You give it shape. Complete form, tangible desire. Let's see. Okay. Read aloud very slowly, and as you do so, remember that the moment you reduce the statement of your desire and a plan for its realization to writing, you have actually taken the first of a series of steps. A plan and writing it down. The first step, which will enable you to convert the thought into its physical counterpart. The earth on which you live, you yourself and every other material thing are the result of evolutionary change, through which microscopic bits of matter have been organized and arranged in an orderly fashion. Moreover, and this statement is of stupendous importance, this earth, every one of the billions of individual cells of your body and every atom of matter began as an intangible form of energy. Desire is thought impulse. Thought impulses are forms of energy. Your thoughts are some energy. Biological, chemical, physical, they have to be some type of energy. When you begin with the thought impulse, desire to accumulate money, you are drafting into your service the same stuff that nature used. The nature used in creating this earth and every material form in the universe, including the body and the brain in which thought impulses function. So your thoughts, if you think about it, they have to be more than simply just thoughts. They have to be, if one studies physics, chemistry, biology, your thoughts have to be more than simply just flying ideas or notions in your head. They have to be a force or an action or stimulation, an energy. They have to be energy in the universe, and as the book says, it makes sense that everything started as a little bit of energy which is just randomly dispersed and intelligently organized to create us human beings and the universe and the earth and the sun and the stars and gravity and all the perfect laws of physics which have control and dictate every single turn or movement in the universe other than our decisions, which are guided, dictated, and stimulated by our thoughts, which seem to be the laws of physics itself from the universe itself presenting themselves in our brains to lead our brains to somehow create change in the universe in the same way that the laws of the universe and energy, when intelligently used, when intelligently organized, and when intelligently and brilliantly stimulated, result in that which the laws dictate that would happen if all of these things were to combine themselves and happen in the order in which the intelligent, the brilliant mind architect has intended for it to happen. So your thoughts are something. If you don't believe they are, they still are, but they wouldn't have the same energy as those who believe they are. But there is nothing you can do to stop them from being a significant or a tangible event in the universe. Significant or tangible event in the universe, including body and brain, which thought impulses function. As far as science has been able to determine, the entire universe consists of but two elements: matter and energy. Matter and energy. Matter and energy. To the combination of energy and matter, has been created everything perceptible to man. From the largest star which floats in the heavens down to and including man himself, you are now engaged in the task. Hold on. Let's see. Let us see. We're live. Let us see what we have here. We are back. The task of trying to profit by nature's method. You are sincerely and earnestly, we hope, trying to adapt yourself to nature's laws by endeavoring to convert desire into its physical or monetary equivalent. You can do it. It has been done before. A lot of people have done it. You can build a fortune through the eights of laws which are immutable. But first you must become familiar with these laws and learn how to use them. How to use the laws in the same way in which we master and become familiar and learn the laws of the universe: electricity, radio waves, magnetic waves, gravity. And once we learn and understand them, then we use them to our advantage. That same way, we could harness these laws that control or dictate how we turn desires into reality. Why not? Why not? Desire into reality. You can learn this lesson by approaching the description of these principles from every conceivable angle. The author hopes to reveal to you the secret through which every great fortune has been accumulated. Strange and paradoxical as it may seem, the secret is not a secret. Nature herself advertises it in the earth on which we live. The stars, the planets suspended within our view, and the elements above and around us, in every blade of grass and every form of life within our vision. Nature advertises this secret in the terms of biology and the conversion of a tiny cell so small that it may be lost on the point of a pin into a human being. Nature is advertising. So nature is telling us some way, somehow, look how from this one cell, that's the tiniest cell that you could never see with your naked eye. You need like a microscope that gives you that allows you to see an object that's 100 times smaller than that which you could see with your naked eye. Nature tells you from that cell a whole entire human being grows from that cell that you cannot even see. You cannot touch, you cannot smell it. It's so tiny, minuscule that you need to amplify your vision times 1,000 to see this. And nature is telling you from this you can get an entire human being that comes to this earth, grows, and changes all of humanity forever, who builds cars, airplanes, spaceships that take human beings from Earth to the moon through that little cell. That's how it all starts. And from that, the magic starts to happen. And we also see nature telling us from this little seed, small seed, you can plant it and then it can grow into a tree, a humongous tree, 20, 30, 50 feet up in the air. This tiny seed, which you can hold in the palm of your hand, could grow in the future if planted in fertile soil and if treated under the laws which the universe requires and earth requires for it to grow. It can grow to be one of the greatest, biggest, largest trees you have ever seen, capable of giving shade, providing shade for 1,000 people, and giving fruit, the fruit from which you took that seed, creating more of that fruit, 100 times more, or 100 units more, 1,000 units more, 100,000 units, 1,000,000 units throughout its life,
And every one of those units will contain more seeds, just like the one you had, which you planted before, and will be able to replant it as well and create another tree, which will create hundreds of thousands of more of that same unit which you took the seed from, and it will continue to be like that as long as seeds continue to be planted and intelligently put to use, put to be grown and to produce. And it will produce an infinite amount of that fruit, never ending hundreds of millions of units with hundreds of millions of seeds that can produce hundreds of millions of more units, and so on and so forth. And nature seems to tell us that there is infinity of production. There are laws and the universe and earth that allows for infinity of production, infinity of us having more, creating more, getting more. And for that reason, the intelligent mind, the wise brain can see that there is no reason to have a mentality of scarcity, a scarcity mentality, because a scarcity mentality would show that you don't understand the fact that from those trees, only one fruit, only one tiny seed can be taken to create, to allow more trees to grow and to give 100,000 more of that fruit. And from that 100,000 we take more fruits, more seeds, and more fruits and more seeds times infinity. As x approaches infinity, we can take out, produce, and have more and more and more, and never ending more. The mind in that same way can create infinite amount of riches, of wealth, of potential new creative things. That's why we never run out of things to invent, run out of things to create. You reach a point in which you say, wow, technology is so advanced, what else can we invent? What else can we create? Like, I cannot even imagine anything more advanced than what we have. And then sooner or later, 1-2 years later, you have something which is greater, which is more advanced, which is at a higher level, which produces more than that which we had before, that which we imagined we could never surpass. Now we are surpassing it, and now we have a lot more of it. And that is, I believe, the magic of the universe and what the book is telling us. Think and Grow Rich, if you understand these concepts, these beliefs, if you adopt them and allow them to grow as a seed in your mind, then I don't think you would ever fear for there not being enough. I believe anyone that fears that others might take everything for them and not leave them anything, do not understand this concept of infinite production, infinite abundance. Those who understand it and clearly have grasped it have a mentality of abundance, an abundance mentality, and not scarcity mentality. Abundance mentality, you are not afraid of things running out. You are not afraid of there not being any more, because you know you can find a way to produce so much more than there already is, and that so much more will create the opportunity to produce even more than you created, thus applying the natural law, the natural inclination of the universe for infinity to continue running in an infinite manner.
infinity to continue producing in an infinite manner.
The conversion of desire into its physical equivalent is certainly no more miraculous than the baby we created or human from that single cell. Do not become discouraged if you do not fully comprehend all that has been stated. Unless you have long been a student of the mind, it is not to be expected that you will assimilate all that is in this chapter upon a first reading. It takes time. Takes experience, it takes going through things, seeing things, it takes many days of insight, intuition to truly grasp and get what this law, this philosophy is. But you will, in time, make good progress. The principles which follow will open the way for understanding of imagination. Assimilate that which you understand as you read this philosophy for the first time. Then when you reread it and study it, you will discover that something has happened to clarify. You understand more. As you get older, you always understand more. Even if you go to the same book, the same movie, after 2-3 years, you understand it differently. You understand it better. You understand it more because you have grown. Because you have grown, and that's what we want for you to grow, to think and grow rich. This philosopher, for the first time, then discover that something has happened to clarify it, and give you a broader understanding of the whole. Above all, do not stop nor hesitate in your study of these principles until you have read the book at least 3 times. For 95, 96. Oh, that's the pages for then you will not want to stop. You will not want to stop once you truly get it. How to make practical use of imagination. Let's see how to make practical use of imagination. Please help us grow. Follow us on Spotify. Or listen to us, save us, listen to our podcast on Spotify. It's on YouTube if you're seeing it. Now you see on the screen, YouTube, subscribe, follow. We are on IG, Affirmed by the People, Twitter, OF by the P, Affirmed by the People. And you can find us in all social medias. Help us grow. Help us grow. Only if you think we are worth it and that you have learned and you have started thinking a new different way which you believe is making you grow. If you have seen yourself grow, then help us grow. Hopefully you grow rich. We think and grow rich. Let us see who comes with us through the ride, through the entire ride, and then comes back. That's the goal. Having a lot of people coming back telling us I did. After following, studying, paying attention, going through everything I did. Think and grow rich. How to make practical use of imagination. Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. Everything starts with ideas. Ideas are products of the imagination. Let us examine a few well-known ideas which have yielded huge fortunes, with the hopes that these illustrations will convey definite information concerning the method by which the imagination may be used in accumulating riches. Let us stop here for this episode. Hopefully that was deep. Remember that ideas are not just little things flying in your head, are not little lines, little cartoons, little images flying in your head, but ideas are energy, our power, our substance. And remember, it all starts with an idea. Remember, creative imagination, synthetic imagination. Remember, let your conscious be stimulated. Let ideas, thoughts, beliefs, notions, thinking like this, what we're doing now, stimulate your conscious so that your creative imagination and its automatic way of working can be activated and can lead you to thinking and growing rich. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following, subscribing. Thank you for being here with us. We will continue to go through the whole entire book. Think and Grow Rich. Thank you for being here. I'll see you later. Take care. Goodbye.